Okay, fourth video, let's have a look at like a sale calculation. So in the last video, I decided I was going to sell my shares in Rio Tinto for $59.93, and that was going to be on the 23rd of August. So I've made a decision that I'm going to buy shares in Qantas using the proceeds from that. But before I can do that, the first thing I need to know is how much I'm actually going to make by selling them. So what I didn't do was I forgot to bring up my shares spreadsheet, but we'll do that now. Because I need to know how many I had, obviously. So in Rio Tinto, I had, where is it? 102 shares. Okay, so if I go back to my calculation, the first thing I'm going to need to determine here is the consideration of my sale. So that's going to be 102 shares at 59.93 each. And then from that, I'm obviously going to have to take off brokerage and GST as well. So that gives me $6,112.86. And the brokerage will be 2% of that. So the brokerage will be 0.02 times by that figure. Which will be $122.26. And the GST will be 10% of that. So if I just move the decimal and adjust, that'll be $12.23. So the total proceeds of sale here will you'll remember is the consideration, take the brokerage and take the GST. So it's going to be $6,112.86. Take away $122.26. Take away $12.23, which gives me $5,978.37. Now I can use that to buy shares in Qantas. So my next step is going to be, to, as before, to work out how many shares I can actually buy with that $5,978. So if I go back to my Qantas share price thing here, first thing I'm going to want to do is adjust this. Now you remember I said I sold my Rio Tinto shares on the 23rd of August. So I'm going to assume that I'm buying my shares in Qantas on the same day. So I'm going to look for starting my graph on the 23rd and going up to our end, which was the 30th of August. Okay, so on the 23rd, I would be buying for $1.30.5, which you can see up the top there. Okay, so going back to here, $1.30.5 per share. Now you remember the magic number here was 1.022. So if I multiply any share price by that, what I'll get is the actual proper cost of that share, including the 2% brokerage and the 10% GST. So when I do that, I get $1.333371. Now remember, if I take the total proceeds and divide it by that number, that'll give me the actual number of shares I can buy. So if I go back to my proceeds, just hang on a sec. $5,978.37. Okay. So I want to divide that by the revised cost per share. It gives me 4,482.51. Now remember, I have to round that down always, so that's $4,482 in share price. Okay, now that I have that, what do I do with it? Well, what I'm going to want to do is I'm actually going to want to go back to my original share price spreadsheet here and just make that change to it. Now before I do that, I obviously don't want to wipe over the hard work I've already done. So I'm going to save this as something different. I'm going to go save as and give it a new name. So maybe call it shares trade. And then we go find the 23rd of August, which is there. And I'm going to put in, for I have Rio Tinto here, 4,482. And I'm going to fill that up, because this last section here is not going to be where I had Rio Tinto shares, it's where I had Qantas shares. And just so I know the difference between them, and give that a different color as well. Might make it yellow because I can. Okay, now last thing I probably want is just some share prices to put in there, so I'm going to go to historical prices and I'll make that go from the 23rd of August up to the 30th of August. And as you can see, there's not too many values there, so I might even just punch them in like that. And because of how we've done this, we shouldn't have to adjust anything other than that. It's the beauty of using an Excel spreadsheet. Once you've gone through the hard work of actually setting up the first time, after that time it doesn't really require too much more effort to change anything. Shoot. As long as you don't make mistakes. And nearly done, $1.37. Okay. And there you go, I'm done. So that's my new aggregate market value after I made that trade. So after I sold my Rio Tinto shares and used that to buy Qantas shares instead. Okay, so that's the kind of thing you're going to want to do if you are making trades. You're going to want, firstly, When you sell your shares in one company, work out how much you're going to make from selling that. Use that to work out how many shares you can buy in a separate company, and then go in and edit your original spreadsheet. Remembering, this is very important, remembering that you save the changes that you've made as a separate document. Do not save over what you had to begin with, because you have to have both of those scenarios to compare them. Okay, that will do for now, I think.